Back here in Cleveland, after this preseason game, the very important cut-down date, Saturday. The roster cut down to 53 players. Then Sunday, the teams can establish a practice squad of 10 players. That's up 2 players from the past. And then the season opener, a week from Sunday, the Bears at home against the Buffalo Bills. It all starts for real. And as the coaches told us last night, Jim, the important thing is getting the team to the start of the regular season healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. You need your health all year long. We've seen what happens to a team when they lose key players. It happened last year to the Bears. They lose the core of their defensive line. They lose their starting middle backer in DJ Williams, and thus they end up 30th ranked defense in the National Football League. And you mentioned Mark Trestman as a team builder. We can talk about the best 53 players all day long, but it needs to be the right 53 players. The right 53 players that build the best football team. That's what it's about in the National Football League, and Trestman very conscious of chemistry, Sam.
Browns won the coin toss, deferred. The Bears will receive, and that's Sonoris Perry, who was a tryout player at rookie minicamp, and here he is with a chance to make the team because he's done well on special teams.
I talked to Skippy Pete, running backs coach for the Chicago Bears. They love this kid out of Louisville. He got hurt his last season there, but he said you wouldn't believe the speed of this young man. He said we have yet to see it here in preseason play or in practice for the Bears. Maybe Sonoris Perry can show his speed off tonight.
Billy Cundiff will kick off for the Browns, who are 0-3 in preseason. Bears are 2-1, and here we go. The line drive kick into the end zone, through the end zone, a touchback, and the Bears will start from the 20-yard line, and there is 23-year-old David Fales, 6'1", 228, out of San Jose State, and this is a very big night for him. It's the first extensive playing time he's gotten since the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, it's really been about the backups when you look at Jimmy Clausen and Jordan Palmer, who moves on to the Bills, but he is a technician. He really can lead an offense. He doesn't do anything great. Not the strongest arm, not the greatest athlete, just a great decision maker who can lead an offense. Perfect Mark Trestman quarterback.
And fails to throw on first down. Nobody open. Gets rid of it as he was going down. Sean Drawn turns it up to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, but Fales was in serious trouble.
Well, I think he's going to realize can't hold on to the football too long. You can see him going through his progression read, gets out of trouble right there, and has the wherewithal to not panic and deliver it to the running back. Just a little flip, so he's a heady player, and his decision-making is really his strength, Sam.
And this is the #1 defense for the Browns starting the game, and they've been pretty good. They get onto the quarterback pretty well. 2nd and 10. And the handoff inside to Drawn gets 3 yards on the play to bring up a 3rd and 7. Bears offensively, some names you may not be familiar with, but they're taking a good look at Chris Williams, Armani Edwards. Sean Drawn is the running back. He has fallen behind Kadeem Carey, who has the night off. Offensive line, Taylor Boggs is the center. Evan Britton has been out most of the preseason, getting a chance to play tonight. Here's Fales out of the shotgun. Gales chased out of the pocket, gets rid of it to Drawn, and that's a first down. Nice play to Sean Drawn out of the backfield.
And you look at David Fales right here. One, I'm just impressed with him going up to line of scrimmage. This is a 3-4 defense of the Cleveland Browns. And as Sam mentioned, these other starters, he points at the down lineman, makes it a 4-3, then points out the Mike backer, and then, again, shows his poise in the pocket, knows where his dump-offs are. And he told me before the game, he said, Jim, I know everything in this game plan. I'm excited, and I feel confident I can lead this team.
Josh Bellamy and Santonio Holmes are the wide receivers. Up deep for Bellamy. And it's broken up on the play. Flags on the play.
Beautiful read for the one-on-one for a young quarterback right there, David Fales.
Leon McFadden was covering Josh Bellamy.
Pass interference, defense, number 29. Automatic first down, spot of the foul.
The referee is John Parry. And a big gain for the Bears. on the pass intended for Bellamy. So they put it up deep, taking a shot down the field right away.
And it's a good read. He recognizes that that's his one-on-one to Josh Bellamy. Like him to lay out the football a little bit more to have the receiver go get it, but gets the great call with pass interference that we know has been really an emphasis here during the preseason.
First down at the Browns 27-yard line. It's drawn, finds an opening. Nice hole and a good run for Sean Drawn, a gain of 5 on the play. Kadeem Carey over the last couple of weeks has run well in the games that he's played in and in practice, and he has moved ahead of Sean Drawn into the number 2 running back position and is getting the night off. It's a big night for Drawn as he battles for the number 3 spot behind the number 1 man, Matt Forte.
There's no doubt about it. And again, Mark Trestman, he really covets 3-down players, and that's what Kadeem Carey is, running the football and catching the football as well.
A cutback by Drawn gets a yard on the play down to the 21-yard line.
And Jerome brings the experience in terms of he's got, with Kansas City and Baltimore, he comes with more NFL credentials, but they've been impressed with Kadeem Carey. He did miss a block last week in Seattle, but he has gotten better in terms of his third down pass protection, has really showed during training camp for the Bears where they felt confident to put elect the young rookie and put him in the number 2 spot behind Forte.
Jim, 3 wide receivers left. Chris Williams, Santonio Holmes, and Josh Bellamy. Bales gets time. The pass is broken up, intended for Santonio Holmes, and was knocked away by Aaron Berry, the cornerback. And the drive has stopped, and the Bears send on the field goal kicking unit.
Again, pressure on David Fales on this play. Doesn't panic. He knows it's man coverage, and it's really, I think it's a really good throw and a good read. Going to the second slant route. You see Paul Kruger gets rid of it just before Kruger knocks him down, but it's a very good read, Sam, versus man-to-man coverage, and I would think Santonio Holmes got to haul that one in.
Robbie Gould, 39-yard field goal try is good, and the Bears take the opening kickoff, march from their 20 down to the Browns' 21-yard line, and get 3 points on the board. Ford scoring drive, 7 plays, 59 yards, 3 minutes 41 seconds. The key play, that 37-yard pass interference penalty on Leon McFadden on the long pass intended for Josh Bellamy. And the Bears with a 3-0 lead. Robbie Gould will kick it off. Marlon Moore is deep for the Browns. Browns had 2 one-point losses and did not play well last week in a loss to the St. Louis Rams. And that's why Coach Mike Pettin playing his starters early in the game. Here's Moore coming out from 7 yards deep. Forced to the sideline. Looks like he stepped out of bounds. Short of the 20-yard line. 22-yard return. They'll spot it at the 15-yard line. Nice opening drive for David Fales. Got 3 points for the Bears. Stay connected to the Bears on NFL Mobile, exclusively from Verizon, the official wireless provider of the Chicago Bears. Airtime, message, and data rates may apply. Now we get a look at the Bears defense going against the number 1 offense for the Browns. And their starting quarterback is Brian Hoyer out of Michigan State.
Hometown hero here. He's a hometown hero just north of here from Homestead. So
Ben Tate on the carry, across the 20-yard line, shoved out of bounds by D.D. Lattimore. Take a look at the Bears defense up front. Austin Lane, Cornelius Washington, the ends. Tracy Robertson, Brandon Dunn inside. The linebackers, D.D. Lattimore, Jerry Franklin, and not Ryan Groy. That is Christian Jones will be the third linebacker. Brian Groy starting on the offensive line. There's Brian Hoyer, who was named the number 1 quarterback to start the season, and Tate carrying. Tate, the 50-year man out of Auburn, who played for the Houston Texans, a backup to Arian Foster in Houston. Cornelius Washington, the tackle on the play. There's Johnny Manziel. He'll come in most likely for the second quarter. And the former Bears starter, Rex Grossman, will see action tonight.
Yeah, and Bears fan, obviously Rex Grossman, drafted first round by the Bears, had 6 seasons, led them to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they lost to the Indianapolis Colts, but he finds a home here in Cleveland with Kyle Shanahan as the offense coordinator.
That pass complete to Jordan Cameron, the tight end, who really developed into a big-time player last season. A first down for the Browns up at the 30-yard line. The Browns got the news that Josh Gordon, their best player, their wide receiver, one of the best in the NFL, will be suspended for the entire season for violating the substance abuse policy of the NFL. They are short on wide receivers. Fake the end around. Hoyer with Cobb. And he finds his man. It's complete. Taylor Gabriel, the rookie out of Abilene Christian. A gain of 17 on the play.
Well, it's good play action by Brian Hoyer right there. I know you were just giving me a hard time because I'm a fellow Michigan Stater, but he's a tough competitor. It does not surprise me at all that he beat out Johnny Manziel, but I think you bring up a good point about Josh Gordon. Why is Josh Gordon practicing and Hoyer working with Josh Gordon when Cleveland Browns knew all along through training camp that he wasn't going to be a part of this football team?
Terrence West on the carry, gets to midfield. He's brought down on the play. Austin Lane in on the tackle. Gain of 3. Mel Tucker, who told us last night he's cautiously optimistic about this defense, even though the defense did not play well in Seattle last week. But certainly some of the top players, Jared Allen hasn't played a whole lot in preseason, and some of the linebackers like Lance Briggs haven't seen a whole lot of time. Dion Lewis in the backfield, slipped one man, and he's brought down at the 46, a gain of 3 on the play. M.D. Jennings, the safety number 37, in on the stop.
Yeah, you look at the penetration right there. D.D. Lattimore, he gets in. He read it beautifully. He's just got to finish. You got to finish a play. You got to make the tackle enough to allow his teammates to really rally like Austin Lane to make the tackle, but get it in the backfield for a tackle for loss if you're D.D. Lattimore.
Austin Lane with a chance to make the team. He's shown good ability to rush the passer during preseason. And he's made a couple of plays already in this game. Ben Tate, number 44, back in at running back for the Browns. Hoyer gets rid of it quickly, completes it to Alex Hawkins. Inside the 35 to the 33, a gain of 13 on the play. Al Lewis-Jean on the stop, the cornerback, number 39.
You mentioned Hawkins right there. They pick him up from the Cincinnati Bengals. Just sits. It's his own coverage. Got inside out. You see Christian Jones rallying to help Lewis-Jean, his teammate, to really at least minimize the damage in his own coverage.
8th play of the drive for the Browns. Hoyer on the play fake, has time and throws wide open. Taylor Gabriel out of bounds inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line, a gain of 21. As the Browns' first-string offense moves the ball well. They want something positive out of this game.
Well, this would normally be Josh Gordon catching the ball. It's an X-receiver on an X-shallow cross. Brian Hoyer is just patient, allows him to clear again. It's its own coverage by the Chicago Bears, and that's a veteran quarterback. I know Brian Hoyer, he's only got like 3 wins under his belt, but he's played a lot of football in his career, and why the Browns named him the starter.
Ray Agnew is the fullback off the play fake. Hoyer lobs it into the end zone for Jordan Cameron, but incomplete.
And the tight end wide open on a corner route. Going to have to look at the coverage there from the Chicago Bears. It's a young player, and Al Lewis-Jean, again from Boston College. He came out 2 years early. He's got to keep outside leverage on that play. So a young player getting schooled by a, let's be honest, that was an outstanding season last year by the tight end from Cleveland. He can play.
It's a tough job for these backups who have not played all that much in the preseason, going against the Browns' first team. That pass fired and broken up. That's a good play by DeMontre Hurst, who has played well throughout the preseason. Undrafted free agent, signed by the Bears last year. He has been the nickel back several times and has done a good job.
Double dragon. It's just double slant. You saw the first clear out. Hoyer's trying to go to a second slant. And as you mentioned, Hurst, that is perfect technique right there. Has his hand on the hip, able to knock the ball down, and it's about versatility. He can play corner, he can play nickel, he can play special teams when you look at Hurst.
He's a player who has a chance. He's showing well. Here's Hoyer back with time. That pass complete to Travis Benjamin, and he is short of the first down. Gain of 9 on the play.
So many times we talk about tackling in space. It's a good, quick decision by Brian Hoyer to dump it off, and nifty maneuvering by the receiver, but you have to be able to tackle in space in the modern day NFL. So many spread out sets, whether it's 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, you see teams go empty quite a bit, and that's what Cleveland was able to accomplish there.
And they are going for it on 4th and 1. Off the fake, Hoyer being rushed, got rid of it, and the tackle by Jerry Franklin, but he spun him around. Ray Agnew, the fullback, spun around. He might have gotten enough. It looks like he did get enough for the first down, but there's a flag on the play.
Roughing the passer. Defense.
No, it's against the Bears.
Okay. Of the helmet. Half the distance to the goal.
And that's something that will upset the Bears coaches, no doubt.
You see it right there, pretty clean. You're going to get called for that every time right now with how it's, plus he lowers his crown of his helmet when you look at that particular play. So need to clean it up, make better decisions, and it's the slide naked is all it is, and that's they're sliding the fullback underneath the rusher on the end line of scrimmage, and Hoyer's savvy, and he's going to get rid of it. Not a smart play by M.D. Jennings.
Yeah, that's a veteran player, 4th-year man M.D. Jennings. Browns first and goal at the 1-yard line with Agnew and Tate in the backfield, and it's a touchdown for Ben Tate. So a good drive for the Browns. First unit, Mike Pettin, the head coach, likes it. Ben Tate takes it in, an 85-yard drive. And as I mentioned, for the Browns, because of the 3 losses, they wanted something positive going into the regular season. So their first unit coming out and driving down the field.
It is. It's about chemistry, feeling good about your football team. And you mentioned they need to show the running game, too, because Trent Richardson, their first-round draft pick a year ago, is lining up for the Indianapolis Colts as he was traded away. And Ben Tate finally feels that he's the guy and out from Arian Foster's shadow down there in Houston.
The extra point by Billy Cundiff is good. The march down the field, and Ben Tate crosses the goal line and gives the Browns the 7-3 lead.
Expert teams, coordinated care. At North Shore University Health System, excellence is always part of the game plan.
You can send a question about the Bears to us here in the booth through Twitter using the hashtag CBNetwork. We might answer it on the air later in the game. Jim has all the answers, I promise you. Ford scoring drive, 13 plays, 85 yards, 6 minutes, 18 seconds. And Ben Tate the 1-yard run. Brian Hoyer leading the way. Billy Cundiff kicking off. Chris Williams is deep for the Bears, and this one goes through the end zone for another touchback. So the Bears have not been able to return either of the first 2 kickoffs in the game. David Fales stays in. The sun's setting here in Cleveland. Bears down 7-3. The Bears All Access radio show is brought to you by Sports Authority and airs on WSCR 670 The Score. Bears All Access is hosted by Zach Zaidman and Patrick Manley and features current Bears players. Second possession for the Bears. They start from the 20-yard line again with David Fales, the quarterback. Drawn as the running back. Fales rolling. and throwing. Josh Bellamy juggles and holds on at the 30-yard line. Time for a sideline report. Lou Canellis is there. Here's the North Shore University sideline report. Lou.
Sammy, thanks very much. You know what? The starters on the defensive line aren't playing tonight, but it was nice to see Jeremiah Ratliff, Jared Allen, Willie Young, Lamar Houston all go out onto the field and welcome that defense back as they walked back to the bench. Then when they got to the bench, each of the veterans grabbing a hold of the iPad and grabbing a hold of the guys that are playing and teaching here on the sidelines. Also, the head linesman came over. Mark Trestman said to him, hey, that roughing the passer call, I don't get it on MD Jennings.
Thanks, Lou. Great catch by Josh Bellamy. And once again, he's been the deep man. Earlier, he drew the interference penalty. Here's a 32-yard grab.
Really a beautiful read. Again, it's a little switch route where the outside and slot receiver, they switch and it becomes a fade by Bellamy. And again, great decision by David Fales. He's gaining confidence already, Sam. You can see it. He took the short completions in the first drive that led to a field goal. Now he's starting progressively push it down the field. Great job, great effort by Bellamy to go up and get the ball at its highest point.
Picked up on waivers from Washington. His Fales being rushed, gets rid of it to Drone, who is hit short of the 35-yard line. One thing, when you look at a Josh Bellamy making a couple of plays, and we've said this before, these players not only are trying to make the Bears, but they're auditioning around the league. If he gets cut by the Bears, there are teams out there that might need a guy like Josh Bellamy.
And so many times when we talk about receivers, you think they're just involved in the return game as a returner. That's not the case for Bellamy. He runs down on kickoffs to tackle. So if he shows the value here for the Bears, which is needed, you know, having a good game tonight, it's about versatility and the more you can do, and so far he's made a good showing.
Drawn was dropped at the 37-yard line. Dale Moss, number 13, is now in at wide receiver. Dennis Rowland, number 73, is the right tackle. Three wide receivers in. Holmes and Williams to the right side.
Showing blitz.
Here it comes. Fales got rid of it early. There's a flag on the play. Once again, McFadden making contact, this time with Dale Moss. And it's going to be against Cleveland.
And again, good poise by David Fales.
On the play. They'll offset. Illegal contact. Defense, 29. Correction, that penalty will be declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Leading with the crown of the helmet, defense number 39. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See that Moss right there comes out. Right here, you can definitely see this one. You lower your helmet, you're going to get called every time. MD Jennings just got called, and that's going to be called on Cleveland as well. But again, the poise of David Fales. He has sat in there and not panicked. Even on a couple of movement plays on the bootleg nakeds, he feels the pressure, dumps it off. That time, recognized the blitz and tries to throw it down the field.
Brown still with first-string defense in there. That was Tayshawn Gibson, the starting free safety, who was called on the roughing the passer penalty. Bears with a first down at the Browns' 22. Two tight ends in. Drawn carrying. Shoved back. As he got to the 20-yard line, give him a yard on the play. Armani Bryant with the tackle. Armani Bryant is the guy who took down Sam Bradford of the Rams last week, and Sam Bradford is done for the season.
This is a good defense for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, when you've, this was a top 10 defense a year ago, so there are good pieces to the puzzle, and this is a good test for the Bears offense. Granted, no Joe Hayden, who was a Pro Bowler a year ago and gets a new contract, but a great defense nonetheless.
On 2nd and 9, Fales being rushed, and this time they got him. Barkevius Mingo, very dangerous pass rusher from the outside. Second-year man from LSU with the sack on David Fales.
Well, you look at the sack right here. There's Barkevius Mingo. He's going to come in. And he was second in all rookies, or actually third for all rookies in sacks. And probably this was the worst decision of the night by David Fales. Why? He takes him out of field goal range. You've got to be thinking situations as a quarterback. Now it's 3rd and long, and you're on the 35-yard line. Normally that would be an easy field goal. Leaves him in a tough spot for David Fales. So let's see if he can make a good decision here.
3rd and 22. Fales drops it off and overthrew Sean Drone. Set up a little screen pass to Drone, and unfortunately incomplete. Robbie Gould comes on the field to attempt a long field goal here.
And now it becomes a long field goal. We know you've got a new snapper, you've got a new holder, and Robbie Gould, we know he's consistent, but allows the Bears to work on their field goal. But it would have been a chip shot if David Fales doesn't take the sack 2 plays early.
52-yard try. The long snapper Brandon Hartson, the holder Patrick O'Donnell, excuse me. The field goal try is wide to the right. So you're right. That sack took him out of field goal range. Robbie Gould went wide, and the Bears trail 7-3.
The Chicago Bears are presented by Chase, the official bank of the Bears since 1934. Chase, so you can.
The Chicago Bears Network presents Inside the Bears, a weekly magazine show on Fox 32 Chicago and My 50 Chicago. Hosted by Anthony Adams and Lindsey Petruni, Inside the Bears is brought to you by Jimmy John's and Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel is in the game at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. From the 42, the fake in the roll, and he's wide open to the tight end. It's dropped by Gary Barnett. Oh, man.
And you see the excitement already by the fans, and they've got a movement play for Johnny Football right out the gate.
There is a flag on the play. It's against the Bears.
First down.
Take a look at the replay here, and that's what it is. Fake the outside zone run. It's a bootleg. Johnny goes through his reads, comes all the way across, going to his tight end, and obviously Barnage, he's got to come in with that. But already you hear the roar of the crowd. What can you say? This is a polarizing player when we talk about Johnny Football, and we'll get more of his play after this
Right about
next
that.
play.
First down, Browns at the 47-yard line. And the toss to Terrence West. Going outside. Ball comes loose. And you can see the pileup and the scramble and the battle. Looks like a rugby football game there.
Tempers flaring. See Cornelius Washington getting pushed.
Looks like a midseason game the way they're battling for that football.
There's jobs on the line down there. Think it matters? It matters to those players. Well, Terrence West just on a little sweep. Ball just pops out. Let me see who got his helmet. I think that was Christian Jones, whose helmet went in their helmet first on Terrence West. Let's take a look here.
MD Jennings looks like he comes up with a fumble. The Bears have it. It's their ball. Just short of midfield. A good play by the Bears defense. And the Bears will start from the 48-yard line. Drawn remains the running back. Ron Mastrud and Matt Mulligan are the tight ends. Here's Drawn picking his way through the hole. Nice little run by Sean Drawn. Pickup of 7 on the play. Now the Browns 45-yard line.
Good patience, just following, letting the block set up. And sometimes it doesn't develop early for a running back. You got to have that patience, and Drone showed his experience there.
We are coming to the end of the first quarter, and the Bears going against mostly first-string players for the Browns, holding up pretty well, but they trail 7-3 end of the first quarter. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Lou Canellis here in Cleveland. Bears down 7-3 as we start the second quarter. Bears with a 2nd and 3 at the Browns' 45-yard line. David Fales 5 for 7, 57 yards. Also had a 37-yard pass interference penalty that helped lead to 3 points. Fales throws, intended for Santonio Holmes, and he was well covered by Justin Gilbert, the rookie first-round draft pick out of Oklahoma State, still in the game for the Browns.
Very good player, long, rangy. When you look at Justin Gilbert, hey, and why they made the trade, that was the guy they said they targeted all along. In terms of David Fales, you know, on that particular play, it was a double slant on each side. Normally you want to read away from the safety. I think there, if you were to nitpick that play, he should have gone to the other side and maybe chose Josh Bellamy to deliver the throw to.
3 wide receivers. Matthew Mulligan, the tight end, splits to the right. Fales with time, completes to Josh Bellamy. And he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. A gain of 17, and Josh Bellamy is showing up here in the first half for the Bears.
He's been strong, going up and getting the football. Look at him come back. This is just a simple curl route. Watch the receiver come back to the ball right there when you look at Bellamy. Tuck it, take the hit. Look at him come back to the quarterback. Nice, accurate throw. Bellamy, nicely done.
3 catches, 60 yards, plus the 37-yard pass interference penalty. Sonoris Perry, number 35, now in at running back for the Bears, and he carries. Short gain on the play. Give him a yard down to the 27-yard line. Sonoris Perry, what a story. Went to rookie mini camp on a tryout and showed so well they invited him to training camp, and has played very well in the preseason, played well on special teams. When he's had the chance, he's run the ball well, and he's making a case for himself.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mentioned his speed earlier by Skippy Pete, and I think Joe DeCamillis is intrigued, and we'll see if Sonoris Perry gets an opportunity for the return game to show off his speed, but he's an impressive angular back. We'll see if he flashes the rest of the game.
Fales hit as he threw, and it was too high, intended for Santonio Holmes. Fales goes down on the hit. Jamal Westerman, the outside linebacker out of Rutgers, with the hit on David Fales.
Well, here's the money down. He's recognized a blitz already earlier in the night for David Fales. He took the sack earlier when they got close to the red zone. We'll see if he can make a better decision. Either one, to get the first down, but don't take your team out of field goal range right here.
3rd and 9. Holmes and Chris Williams to the left, Bellamy to the right, and they split the tight end Mulligan to the right as well. And the flag flies. Delay of game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now, 3rd and long has become 3rd and longer.
Help the young quarterback.
Well, so many times you get caught up, and it's tough. It's difficult for young quarterbacks. He's thinking, he knows the game plan. He's anxious, and but you have a lot of things going on in your mind. He's uncertain because he doesn't come into this game with a lot of reps, Sam. We know it's really all about the backup quarterbacks, and so here he gets caught up a little bit and thinking too much rather than watching the play clock.
On 3rd and 14, Fales throws and completes it to Santonio Holmes, breaks away and goes in, touchdown! Big play by Santonio Holmes. Turned the short pass on a 3rd and 14 into a touchdown.
And let's show David Fales with the accuracy. Watch how he back shoulders him here. See how it allows the receiver to roll out of it? Santonio Holmes, now he shows his speed. It's really, the setup was an accurate throw in terms of ball placement by David Fales. It's supposed to be an in-cutting route. He back shoulders him, allows that play to happen.
Nice play by Holmes, who's trying to find a spot on this team. He has tried to pick up the offense in short period of time. The Bears with a touchdown to take the lead. Holmes makes a great move on the Browns' first-round draft pick, Justin Gilbert, and takes it in for the go-ahead touchdown. Up here in the booth, it's Miller time. Jim, take a look at that touchdown play.
Nice throw by David Fales. You got double slant right here, and he beats the corner. That's the first-round draft pick. Santonio Holmes, he's a first rounder himself. Nice back shoulder, allows Santonio Holmes to roll out of it. Justin Gilbert, bad angle, makes him look bad. Nice showing for Santonio Holmes early in this game.
In our talks with Mark Trestman last night, we asked about third wide receiver. He said right now it's a group of guys. It's Josh Morgan. It could be Santonio Holmes. It could be Chris Williams in the mix. So right now, anytime you see a play like that, that's big. On the kickoff by Gold, Marlon Moore takes a knee for the touchback, and the Browns will start from the 20-yard line. And there is Santonio Holmes on the sideline. Mike Groh, the wide receivers coach, has done a nice job working with him, getting him up to speed.
And I think what's been evident the past 2 weeks, even in Seattle, he didn't get a couple of balls thrown his way. He's shown his speed, and that's what Santonio Holmes been known for. And obviously, he's former Super Bowl MVP. He's capable of the big play. He's had some ups and downs in his careers. Can he get along with his teammates? So far, making a good showing early for Chicago.
Johnny Manziel, the quarterback for the Browns, in his second series. Terrence West on the carry, gets 3 on the play. Interesting to hear Jerry Jones say today, every day he gets madder and madder that the Cowboys did not draft, that he let Johnny Manziel pass in the draft.
Well, they've got a quarterback right now coming off of 2 back surgeries. When you look at Tony Romo, and obviously all the excitement, Johnny Manziel from the state of Texas, a local product there, and the fans love him. What can you say? Well, I was at the draft at Radio City Music Hall. I have never heard such an uproar until Johnny Manziel's name went across the podium, and the Cleveland Browns fans were excited as much as Dallas Cowboys fans would be excited if he were in a Cowboy uniform.
Terrence West with a 2-yard carry. Lee Pegues, who's in at defensive tackle, number 71. Rookie out of East Carolina, made the tackle. A lot of talk. It's all about a lot of the off-the-field activities. But I think, Jim, and you tell me, you're the quarterback here, but I think this guy's got the talent to be a top player in the league.
Well, he's got some swagger to him, and I think you're right. It's like the old Chuck Berry song, Johnny Be Good. Will he be good on the field? Will he be good off the field? He's rubbing elbows with a lot of celebrities, but he brings excitement.
Under pressure, they got him. And the ball came loose. David Bass, number 91, the defensive end, with the sack.
Browns think they have it still.
And they do, but it's 4th down. Good play by the Bears defense.
Good move, good swap move right there. And finish, you have to finish, and that's because it's so competitive at defensive end. And David Bass is another player he has just flashed. He flashed last year in 12 games and making certain plays, and he knows the lights are on tonight. He needs to make a good showing. Great play right there.
And look who's back to receive the punt, Santonio Holmes. So the Bears certainly taking a good look at Santonio Holmes to see if there's a spot for him on this roster come start of the season. Deep punt, Holmes from the 30. Moves his way ahead, stays on his feet, makes it a good return. He's out of bounds at the Browns 40-yard line. How about that?
Good return for Santonio Holmes.
Back-to-back terrific plays, a touchdown and a punt return.
Get details by visiting your local retail store for specially marked 12-packs from August 15th through September 30th.
Watch Bears on demand exclusively from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Check out the Bears Zone for all of the Inside the Bears shows. 28-yard punt return for Santonio Holmes. The Bears with the ball at the Browns 40-yard line. David Fales checking off at the line. Sonoris Perry, the running back, 2 tight ends in. Lining up in the backfield, Rod Bastrud. And the flag stops play. And it's against the Browns. Looks like encroachment.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 49. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Time for a North Shore University Health System sideline report. Here's our man, Luke Canellis.
Sam, when Santonio Holmes came back here to the bench, everyone was smiles, especially Holmes, but he took the touchdown pass, the ball, and he actually handed it to David Fales, and he said, "This belongs to you. Your first touchdown pass on the NFL level."
Nice job by Santonio. Here's Sonoris Perry. Has a couple of moves, getting inside the 35, down to the 33. Bring up a second and short. So Santonio Holmes is making a real good case for himself with a touchdown play, the run after the catch, and then the punt return.
And showing he can be a good teammate as well by giving that game ball to David Fales. And it is about baby steps in the NFL. It's your first completion, your first touchdown. Santonio Holmes caught probably the biggest catch in Super Bowl history in Super Bowl 43. That's why he was the MVP. And that's very gracious to give that ball to David Fales, because he knows that is a big deal for David. Now he's got his first one down, shooting for others, but Holmes making a huge impact tonight for Chicago.
Fales' last pass was complete to the tight end, Jerron Mastrud, a gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and about half a yard. Robert Turner is in at right guard, number 76, making left guard. And here's Perry for a first down. Nice burst through the hole by Sonoris Perry. He's out of the University of Louisville. And a nice little run by Perry.
Good reach, just an inside zone run, good cutback, good vision, makes the guy miss, and like you said, Sam, showed his burst. That's what caused the missed tackle initially for him to get positive yards.
Bears with the ball at the Browns' 24-yard line. Fales has done a good job. He's got time. He goes outside to Josh Bellamy. Bellamy inside the 10. And out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Good throw, and Bellamy once again. He's having a good night. 18-yard pickup.
It's an easy read. He knows there's a soft corner out there, so there's no help. He knew that the area was going to be vacated by the defender, and there's Justin Gilbert again. But Bellamy is making a good case for himself tonight, but Fales. I am impressed with his decision-making, Sam. He understands and diagnoses the pre-snap read of what he's being presented defensively.
The Bears in the Sports Authority red zone. On 1st and goal, Fales pass is complete to Mastrud, but only a yard pickup on the play. Jerron Mastrud and Matthew Mulligan, along with Dante Rosario, suiting up tonight. The number 1 tight end, Martellus Bennett, getting the night off as the Bears coaches look at who will fit in as the backup tight end on the team.
Yeah, lost Zach Miller. He's already placed on IR with the Liz Frank, and still a little battle going on for backup tight end. And 12 personnel. That's 1 running back and 2 tight ends. Huge personnel grouping for Mark Trestman, because that allows him to set up play action. And if you've got 2 different guys, Martellus can run and he can block, and now you've got guys who are versatile. Mulligan's more the blocker, Rosario's more the receiver, and Mastrud's somewhat in between. He provides all those things for a movement guy. So they're all on display tonight.
No gain on that last run by Sonoris Perry. 3rd and goal. Monty Edwards, number 80, is in at wide receiver. He's to the right with Josh Bellamy. Perry in the backfield. Everybody out. Fails to the corner. Overthrows Armani Edwards. So the drive stalls. The field goal kicking unit comes on. A couple of good plays on that drive. Starting with the punt return by Santonio Holmes. The completion to Josh Bellamy. Bellamy with 4 catches for 78 yards in the game. And here is Robbie Gould for a 23-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is through. And the Bears' lead is 6 points, as they have moved the ball well here in the first half, led by David Fales. Scoring drive leading to the 23-yard Robbie Gould field goal. 8 plays, 30 yards. Biggest play was the 18-yard pass completion to Josh Bellamy. And the Bears with a 13-7 lead. Robbie Gould will kick it off. Marlon Moore is back deep for the Browns. Bears have done a nice job. These backups have really played hard.
They settled for a field goal, but it was an inside slot to Armani Edwards. It was a fade route. It was press man coverage, and if he's just more accurate with the ball, Fales would have had his second touchdown pass. But nonetheless, Sam leads him to another field goal and another scoring drive.
Strong kick by Robbie Gould through the end zone. No return. Catch the Bears Coaches Show, brought to you by McDonald's, Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. all season on WBBM News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. Bears season begins a week from Sunday at home against the Buffalo Bills. And the Bears, Mel Tucker telling us last night, they like the fact they faced a lot of mobile quarterbacks in the preseason. Russell Wilson last week, at Johnny Manziel tonight. Manziel off the play fake. Wants to go deep, and he does. He's got a man open, and there's a flag on the play. Travis Benjamin was open, but he waited for the pass. The pass was underthrown.
Yeah, DeMontre, well, it fluttered up there. I mean, he could have fair caught it.
Pass interference, defense, number 30. Automatic first down, spot of the foul.
And Johnny doesn't get the best of Sparrow on this, and it gets held up in there. And DeMontre Hurst just hitting the receiver before the football arrives. You're going to get called for that every single time in the NFL.
38-yard pass interference penalty on DeMontre Hurst. And the Browns at the Bears' 47-yard line. Off the fake. Manziel on the roll, chased by Austin Lane, and the pass complete at the 30-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play. Willie Snead, the receiver. Rookie out of Ball State.
Well, already you see the two different styles of play calling by Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns. Hoyer is going to be more pocket style. Until Johnny Manziel is more disciplined in reading defenses in the pocket, they're going to take advantage of his legs. A lot of movement plays, get him out of the pocket, shorten the field, and almost cutting it in half, allowing him to make better decisions.
The toss to Terrence West. Good job by the Bears defense. Jerry Franklin and M.D. Jennings able to stretch that play out, and Jennings, the safety, taking West out of bounds. No gain on the play. M.D. Jennings, when the Bears signed him, he was hoping to be a starter at safety. Mel Tucker a little upset on the sideline. This is home for Mel. He coached here in Cleveland as a defensive coordinator. Manziel throwing too high, and a big hit by Marcus Trice, the safety. The hit on Charles Johnson, the wide receiver.
Trice, he's a free agent from North Texas, and Johnny Manziel's, it's about accuracy, folks. You start laying guys out like this, they're not going to be your friend very long. Yeah. But nice hit. It's a legal hit. You can still be physical in the NFL. You see Trice lead with his shoulder, and Johnny Manziel hanging his receiver out to dry.
5 defensive backs in for the Bears on 3rd and 10. And Manziel decides to call for a timeout with 5:48 remaining here in the first half. Your connection to Chicago every night, Fox 32 News at 9. Here in Cleveland, there are the numbers 1 and 2 quarterbacks, Jay Cutler and Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen's done a nice job, and they've watched David Fales, and I think David Fales has done a very nice job.
Very accurate with his throws, and this is what he's been known to do. Just a great decision maker, can lead a team, never puts the ball in harm's way, and I think he's been accurate with his throws. And again, it starts to, you get confidence. You can see him getting more confident, pushing the ball down the field. He seems to show very good command, and right now I've only charted him for 2 bad decisions all night, and for his first extensive playing time, pretty impressive for David Fales.
10 for 15, 127. Nobody open. Manziel starts scrambling. Here he goes. And he throws on the move, and he connects for a big gain. to Nate Burleson, who's seeing his first preseason action coming off a knee injury last year.
And this is why the Cleveland Browns drafted Johnny Manziel. He improvises. See, he has a sixth sense about him. He just feels everything around. He turns it always into backyard football. And again, that's the challenge. Can they make him a disciplined passer in the pocket? But you don't want to take that part of Johnny Manziel's game out of his game. That's what makes him so special right there when you look at Johnny Manziel.
Ball just short of the 1-yard line. Off the fake, Manziel being chased, throws into the end zone. Touchdown to the tight end, Jim Dre.
And you hear the fans in Cleveland, the excitement. That's what it's about. Jimmy Haslam, I think he wants to bring a brand of excitement to Cleveland Browns fans, and I think Johnny Manziel provides that.
Mike Ditka was saying this week, Jim, that Johnny Manziel reminds him of Fran Tarkenton.
It's similar set and similar traits and how they can scramble around, and everything's impressive about him. Sam, if I send out an Evite for a party, I won't get one response. This guy has LeBron James, Justin Bieber, everybody in the celebrity community responded to him.
The extra point is good. The Browns have regained the lead. Johnny Manziel leading the drive, and the Browns lead 14-13.
Football is brought to you by Verizon and sponsored by Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Cadillac dealers, Gatorade, Advocate Healthcare, and McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana.
Fourth scoring drive for the Browns. 5 plays, 80 yards in short order. 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Johnny Manziel leading the team. 2 key plays, 38-yard pass interference penalty on DeMontre Hurst, and then a 27-yard pass connection to Nate Burleson. Setting up the touchdown pass to Jim Dre. On the kickoff, bouncing deep into the end zone, Williams takes a knee. So the Bears have been unable to return a kick thus far in the game. David Fales, you see the numbers on him. 10 for 15, 127 yards, 1 touchdown thus far in the first half. And he has played well. Big decision for the Bears when it comes to a young man like David Fales. 6th round draft pick, so, you know, chosen down in the draft, but do they keep him as a 3rd quarterback, or do they try to get him to the practice squad to develop him as a quarterback?
Well, as well as he's played tonight, I don't know if he'd make it through waivers to re-sign him on the practice squad. He's played that well so far.
Short completion to Chris Williams, a gain of 2 on the play. Let's go down to Lou on the sideline. He's got a good guess. Lou?
All right, that play, you're watching the 3rd string out there trying to defend Manziel. You've been teaching on the sidelines. What would you tell them? What did they do wrong?
You know, that's a tough play. I mean, you know, it started out with decent pocket rush. I mean, he ended up making 3 or 4 moves and coming out the back end. So, you know, in that situation, you just got to try to rally the ball the best you can and take good angles and hope someone can get him on the ground.
You played in 1 game in this preseason, 28 defensive snaps. Are you ready for the regular season?
Oh, absolutely, not a doubt.
No question.
No question.
How good do you feel? You and I have talked a number of times about the excitement you have about this defense. Why are you so excited?
Well, I just think, you know, the individual players that we have a good combination of veteran leadership and good youth talent. You know, I know what we have on the practice field, and I'm just excited to get it all together and start playing for games that count. And you know, we have playmakers at every single position, and you can't ask for more than that.
And I know you're excited to win that first game at Soldier Field against the Bills.
Absolutely, can't wait.
All right, thanks very much, Jared. He's 0-6 at Soldier Field, Sam, in his career. He wants to win that opener against Buffalo.
Oh, that'll change. That'll change. Fales being chased on 3rd down. Stays on his feet, but is chased out of bounds short of the first down. And the Bears will be forced to punt.
Smart with the football. If nobody's open, scramble. It's not the worst thing in the world to punt the football. I think, again, good awareness, good feel in the pocket. He felt the pressure from the backside and makes a good decision. Punt the football, live to play another day, another series.
First time 3 and out for the Bears in the game. Patrick O'Donnell in the punt for the first time. Taylor Gabriel is deep for the Browns. They look for a return man, and a good kick by O'Donnell to the sideline, out of bounds, no return. And take a look at David Fales in the first half, Jim.
Well, so far, see him quick. Look at his eyes. Pops his feet, throws an accurate pass to Bellamy, who fights for the football. Accurate there, hitting his receiver on the move. Bellamy again, and then the ball placement. Back shoulder, Santonio Holmes able to roll out of it for a touchdown. Pretty good start for David Fales. That's a good half, and he's building confidence during this football game.
The Browns start from the 30-yard line. Manziel still with it on the keep, and he slides just short of the first down. Some good quickness by Johnny Manziel. He's got quite a repertoire there.
Yeah, and the offenses are so different. It's night and day between what they're going to call with Brian Hoyer, normally in the pocket. He's going to hand it off, and Johnny Manziel. What have we seen? All movement plays, bootleg nakeds. Now we're seeing a spread option package right there where Johnny Manziel just reads the defensive end, takes off upfield for a 7-yard gain.
Second down at the 38-yard line. Here's West. And a good job, Jeremy Franklin, with the stop at the 40-yard line. It's enough for a first down for the Browns. All right, realistically, Jim, how long do you think it'll be before Johnny Manziel becomes the starter here in Cleveland?
I don't like seeing young quarterbacks thrown onto the field. You know, we go back and look at quarterbacks that have had to play early. Ben Roethlisberger was only due to an injury to Tommy Maddox. Say Joe Flacco. It was tonsillitis by Troy Smith that forced him in the lineup. You only want to put a guy in when he's ready to play. And Johnny Manziel, to me, like this throw right here, he's mentally and physically not prepared to play right now in the National Football League. It's going to take some time. And I think Mike Penton, the head coach of Cleveland, has gone about this the right way. But I think there is a little bit of pressure from ownership who wants that excitement on the field. He wants Cleveland to have a jolt of energy, and Johnny does provide that. But I think only when he's ready do you put him in there. Now, when the season's lost, maybe that's when the opportunity comes.
Now, Mike Penton was talking about a 2-quarterback system with a package for Johnny Manziel.
We did it in Pittsburgh with Cordell, Slash. And package of plays, I understand that. A series here, a series there. But again, it's going to be so minimized compared to what they could do with Brian Hoyer, who's a veteran. But it does make defenses, say opponents, say week 1 when they go on the road at Pittsburgh, makes them prepare for a lot more defensively.
Last 2 passes incomplete. We've reached the 2-minute warning with the Bears trailing the Browns 14-13. Let's take a closer look at what's going on in the trenches with Rust-Oleum high-performance protection, Jim.
I talked about the disciplines in the pocket. Need to hold the ball high and tight to your body. Johnny Manziel not protecting it there. David Bass allows him to swat that ball away.
Two young quarterbacks. The Bears' 6th-round pick, David Fales. The Browns' 1st-round pick, Johnny Manziel.
They are going to make mistakes. They're young. It happens. That's how you grow as a quarterback. But I think you see the discipline of David Fales early compared to Johnny Manziel.
Good job by both defensive ends. First, Austin Lane was there, and then David Bass finished from the other side. There's a flag on the play, and we'll check that out. But good pressure from both sides by the Bears defensive ends.
Ruling on the field is down by contact. Holding, defense, 5-yard penalty. Automatic.
Oh, that's something that is so upsetting, prolonging the drive.
And it really had good pressure on Johnny Manziel here. You see, really beats the tackle, and there's Bass again, cleaning it up, finishing the play. Coaches, Mel Tucker's got to love to see that, but it's just the penalty he's going to be frustrated about.
Yeah, that's something that the coaches talked about last week in Seattle that hurt the team. Browns 1st down at the 46. Manziel gets time, and that pass is off the mark. Gary Barnidge, the tight end, the intended receiver. So you can see the inconsistencies. There's a flag down, and we'll check that out. But you can see the inconsistency in the passing of Johnny Manziel.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Tracy Robertson, who's trying to find a spot on this team, takes a bad penalty.
Well, you mentioned the disciplines in the pocket. That's why I talk about whether it's a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop. In order to be an accurate quarterback, you got to have good footwork and throw out, in balance. And Johnny right now, he doesn't have those disciplines yet. That's going to have to come along. It's going to take time for Johnny Manziel, and why he's been inaccurate so far early tonight.
5 penalties on the Bears defense. Manziel throws. That one is incomplete. Bring up a 2nd and 10.
And that's not anything that can't be cleaned up. And you can correct footwork in an offseason. Yeah. You really can. But for Johnny Manziel, you have to remember, the draft was later this year. These coaches don't get more hands-on time to work with him. He's maybe out in Vegas a little too much. And, you got to work on those disciplines to become a much more accurate passer.
With time, he hits the tight end Barnage, who holds on and gets inside the Bears' 30-yard line. A gain of 22 on the play. D.D. Lattimore, the middle linebacker, with the tackle.
Here you see it right here. Gets off the ball. Look at Austin Lane. Good hands. And then obviously the tight end wide open in the voided zone right there.
Manziel under pressure moves and throws back across and completes it to Nate Burleson. Inside the 20 to the 17. A gain of 10. There's a flag down. But Manziel, he's a playmaker. We talked about he's not the traditional pocket quarterback.
Illegal formation. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That hurts the Browns' drive.
And this is what happens with the young quarterback. You're the leader, and there's not enough men on the line of scrimmage. I think he should be off the ball right there, I think, is what they're getting called for. And Johnny Manziel needs to know that as a quarterback. But interesting that you brought up, Sam. I just talk about his footwork and being on balance to throw. When he's on the run, he's amazing. He can throw the ball from any angle, and he's very accurate with the football on the move.
Ball back at the 33. Manziel fires. That's dropped by Willie Snead. Thrown a little behind him. Marcus Trice, number 35, the safety on the coverage.
And he has a beautiful pocket. Again, the disciplines of Johnny Manziel in the pocket. All day, no pressure on him. Step and deliver an accurate throw. And these are the things he needs to get better at in the National Football League. The barometer used to be, hey, high 50s, you're doing pretty good. Now it's well over 60%.
Yeah, right.
Drew Brees is close to 70. And he's the same type of body frame of Johnny Manziel in terms of height. And Johnny Manziel needs to get to that point for his NFL career to succeed.
And he rolls. He's got room to run. Inside the 20. Out of bounds near the 10-yard line. And there again, you see how dangerous Johnny Manziel can be. 22-yard run.
4.5 speed. He feels it, and he bails out, to me, a little bit too early, but this is what he does. He's in his comfort zone right now. This is when he turns on his speed, shows how elusive he is, and this is why he's a headache in every defensive coordinator's mind, specifically about head coach of Alabama, Nick Saban. This guy caused Alabama fits in college.
First and goal at the 10-yard line for the Browns. 4-man rush. Manziel throws. Good coverage on the play, intended for Nate Burleson. M.D. Jennings and Demontre Hurst covering.
And he needs to move on in his read. It's double covered. It's not open. Again, the disciplines. You've got to move on in your progression reads. We've seen David Fales of the Bears do that tonight. Johnny Manziel locking on to his receiver, forcing the football, and great defense by the Bears. But very easily almost resulted in an interception.
3 wide receivers in for Cleveland. Draw play. Dion Lewis weaves his way to the 5, inside the 5. Gain of 6 down to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal for the Browns.
Good job
David Fales and offensive coordinator Aaron Cromer talking things over on the sideline.
Well, it's a good job on the draw play by D.D. Lattimore. And, now they're conscious of Johnny Manziel scrambling, and now they stay at home on the draw play in order to make the tackle. But they need to have a big third down stop right here for Chicago.
Timeout called by the Browns. They have one timeout remaining. Get into the good times. Good Day Chicago. Weekday mornings on Fox 32 Chicago. A lot of the Bears, you see the Bears on the sideline without the pads on. Those guys getting the night off.
Well, it's a young defense out there right now. They're competing for spots. I think obviously Austin Lane and David Bass have really been outstanding on the edges. Need to contain Johnny Manziel, because you would like to think here, again, movement plays. Is it going to be a run-pass option for Johnny Manziel in this situation? Guys on defense need to be aware right here for that scenario.
And now the Bears use a timeout. So the Browns come out and decided to talk things over. Charles Peanut Tillman along the sideline. We talked to the Bears coaches about the leadership on the defense, and so many players stand out as leaders. There's not just one. Lance Briggs, certainly the veteran, Peanut Tillman, another one. But now you've added Jeremiah Ratliff. You've added Jared Allen to the mix. DJ Williams is back healthy. So a lot of good leadership on the Bears defense, and the coaches are counting on that to get the defense improved this year.
Yeah, and I think they do, and they prove it every time they step on the field to play. These guys have all earned it in terms of how hard they play, and so that commands respect in the locker room, and they've shown their leadership throughout.
Manziel throws to the corner too far. Intended for Taylor Gabriel. Overthrew him, and it brings up a fourth down, and the field goal kicking unit comes on for the Browns. C.J. Wilson was covering Taylor Gabriel.
C.J., he's had a nice preseason as well. He's competed. He's been involved in interceptions and turnovers, and right there, that was a one-on-one situation. Good tight coverage, forcing Johnny Manziel to force it out of bounds in the back of the end zone.
22-yard field goal try for Billy Cundiff. And it's through, and the Browns have a 4-point lead. 17-13.
Another leader, Lance Briggs. And you bring up a good point, because really where the defense, in my opinion, was when Lance broke his scapula last year. That's when you really saw the drop-off in terms of leadership. Peanut Tillman was ailing early. You lose Henry Melton in terms of the defensive line aspect a year ago. And then when Lance Briggs went down, young linebackers were thrust into duty, and they were lost. I mean, Lance Briggs was somewhat of a cheat sheet out there. You're going to listen to a 7-time Pro Bowler, and he's telling you everything on every play, what to do, what to expect. And then once that was lost, it just seemed like a total defensive collapse for the Bears a year ago.
Chris Williams is back deep. He'll receive the kickoff. Bears have not been able to return a kickoff thus far in the game. All touchbacks. There's Chris Williams seeing his first game action since the first preseason game against the Eagles. But the long touchdown pass and pulled a hamstring. Here's Williams on the return from 6 yards deep. Try to find an opening and didn't find one. Stopped at the 15, 22-yard return. Coming up at halftime, local news update. And then a terrific feature, Anthony Adams, the former Bear nose tackle, interviewing Matt Forte. That's a great one. And we'll have highlights and statistics coming up, so stay with us at halftime. Bears trailing 17-13 with 4 seconds remaining. David Fales likely go, is expected to go the entire game. And that's it for the first half. Some positives for the Bears. Santonio Holmes made a couple of big plays. caught a pass, turned it into a touchdown, had a nice punt return in that first half. Bears are trailing 17-13 at halftime of the final game of preseason. Pads on, that means he's done for the night. The coaches have seen what they wanted to see from him. On the return, Marlon Moore across the 20 up to the 25-yard line. Time to go to the sideline. Lou standing by with Jay Cutler. Lou.
Thanks very much, Sam. First play coach, how do you think Fales has played through a half?
I think he's played well. Obviously some ups and downs, but he's handled the huddle. He's got in and out of the huddle. He's made some good throws. He'll settle down a little bit in the second half, but he's done a really good job so far. 3 preseason games in the books. Tell me what you're worried about on offense for the Bears. Nothing. There's a lot of things that we are working on continuously, but we'll see how it goes next week, and we're just getting ready for the Bills now.
You had a career-high passer rating last season. Tell me why you think you can even do better this year.
Don't know. I'm not going to put predictions on anything. We got a good squad around me. Second year in the offense, but we still just got to keep working on each and every day.
You feel much more comfortable. You look it on the field much more comfortable in the second year of the offense?
Yes and yes. Anytime you're in something for a longer period of time, you're going to feel more comfortable.
31 years old. Are your best years still ahead?
Hope so.
Thank you very much. And you're on Sports Illustrated on the cover coming up. You know that?
I heard about that.
You don't know about it?
I took the picture, so yeah, I guess.
Oh, you don't believe in the Sports Illustrated jinx, do you?
I think it's the Madden, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
See you.
Jay Cutler and Matthew Stafford will be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You want to take a look at that. Thanks to Lou and Jay Cutler as he gets ready for the start of the regular season. Johnny Manziel took off another 14-yard run. 3 runs for Johnny Manziel and 44 yards. Rolling and throwing. And that one is incomplete.
And I mentioned rushing things. 2 back-to-back plays. Again, this is normally when he's in his comfort zone on the move, where he's rolling to his left, and I just think he's rushing things a little bit too much. A little early in his throws rather than squaring his hips and shoulders towards his target so he can make an accurate throw.
He presents problems for coaches with his running. Passing, he's only completed 1 of his last 9.
Yeah, he struggled with the accuracy tonight.
Overall 4 for 13. Browns 3rd and 10 at their own 39. Manziel has time and waits until Marlon Moore comes open. First down across midfield. No pressure that time on Manziel.
Yeah, here he's got some time to throw the football. Bears were in a deep, really a soft cover too. Even that one though, to Moore, it's behind the receiver. You want to lead him so you can hit the receiver in stride, but it is enough to get the first down, but no pressure on Johnny Manziel on that play.
Starting the second half, David Bass and Austin Lane are the ends. Tracy Robertson and Brandon Dunn are the tackles for the Bears. Jeremy Franklin, D.D. Lattimore, and Christian Jones are the linebackers. The safeties, M.D. Jennings and Marcus Trice. And the cornerbacks, Demontre Hurst and C.J. Wilson. First down, Browns at the Bears 48. Movement on the line.
Like Brandon Dunn got drawn off sides by the snap count. Cadence of Johnny.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Brandon Dunn was not drawn. He jumped too soon.
Undrafted free agent. Well, and you need to change up your cadence, your snap count. I always bring it up. It's a weapon for quarterbacks in the National Football League, especially for Johnny. He needs to slow things down, and one way you can do that is to slow down the pass rush by changing up your snap count. Gets Brandon Dunn in that particular situation.
Sorry, Jim, another penalty against the Bears defense. It's Chris Obanaya, running back, number for the Browns. 50-year man out of the University of Texas. He's The Browns try to sort out their running back situation. We saw Ben Tate and Terrence West in the first half, along with Dion Lewis in third down situations. Lewis they acquired in a trade with the Eagles. There's David Bass, who's played well, as Jim mentioned, in that first half. Obadiah, Franklin, Jeremiah Franklin, Tracy Robertson in on the stop.
Just a different look when you look at the pistol offense. They're going to utilize Johnny Manziel. Other teams are utilizing it in the National Football League. It's where the quarterback is in shotgun. Then you have Obadiah lined up behind the quarterback, and it's just another spread option look. So probably Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, this is good prep for the regular season because they'll see that pistol formation as the season rolls along, maybe even week 1 against the Buffalo Bills.
Manziel rolls, Austin Lane chases. And the pass broken up by C.J. Wilson. Marlon Moore, the intended receiver. Good job by the Bears all around. Like the pressure from Austin Lane. He's had a couple of good pressures in this game. Been in on a sack.
These guys are making it a tough decision in terms of pass rushers that they're going to keep on the Bears. And certainly David Bass and Austin Lane are laying it on the line tonight because it could be for a potential team out there. And Lane comes from Jacksonville. Mel Tucker knows him, and he's put on a good show tonight, both he and Bass.
Again, movement.
And because of that pressure, that's why Johnny keeps on mixing up the snap count. Again, that's how you slow the pass rush down. Don't let those guys get a jump off the ball, because clearly he must be in a rhythm where the Bears feel they're getting a good jump on the snap count.
Number 72, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And they got it once again. Tracy Robertson appealing to the official, trying to figure out why he was the man called. Gets a little support from his teammates, but another penalty on the Bears defense.
Well, it's something as small as that where you start to pay attention and you're chasing ghosts. So rather than listen to the quarterback's cadence, just look at the football. Defensive lineman, you already got your hand down there. He's in there over the guards in the center. When you look at Tracy Robertson, he just needs to watch the football.
Manziel keeping. Got away from Trice and then is down inside the 20 to the 18, a pickup of 11. Boy, he's impressive when he takes off.
He can get to the edge pretty quickly. Again, spread option attack. You see D.D. Lattimore right there. He gets sucked inside. And then the inside help. He's already around the corner when you look at Johnny Manziel's speed. It's very tough to defend. You got to be disciplined in terms of the defensive end to that particular side of the spread option call in order to turn it up inside.
He's by far the leading runner in the game. 4 runs, 55 yards. Obadiah trying to swing it outside. David Bass chases him down. Good tackle down at the 14-yard line.
Good effort by Bass because he was out leveraged on that play. Ends up being just a bob play, back on backer to the weak side to David Bass. I see him, he gets sucked inside, back on back, you see the fullback, and now he chases it down. So he shows his speed right there when you look at David Bass, and also being relentless, getting to the football. Don't ever give up on a play. He didn't give up on that play, even though he made the mistake of getting out leveraged. He ended up making the play in the end.
10th play of the drive for the Browns. And it's Obadiah again. This time Christian Jones is there to stop him. Goes down at the 9 as a flag on the play, and it's against the Browns.
Offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Holding the call on Abasi Salimu, rookie tackle. Joe DeCamillis and his Mel Tucker. They're looking for guys who can play defense but also play special teams.
And a lot of these guys like Christian Jones, he's surprised in terms of his special teams play. Undrafted out of Florida State, and really he's made his mark. They know he's a good linebacker, but he's made his mark on special teams.
That preseason. To Marquise Gray. Excuse me, Isaiah Crowell out of the backfield, just in, rookie out of Alabama State. Now in the running back for the Browns. 3rd and 11 for the Browns. First possession of the 3rd quarter. And they have driven deep into Bears territory. Drive over 5 minutes here. Manziel being flushed out by Bass, chased by Robertson, and throws it away. Good job again by David Bass. Tracy Robertson in on the play and in on the pressure as well.
And good coverage down the field by Al Lewis-Jean, because he forces the receiver out, out of bounds is what he did, and it was Taylor Gabriel on that play. He wouldn't have been eligible to catch the football. But look right here. You normally want to come over the top. That's 3/4 right there. He can throw it from all angles, and that is another special quality of Johnny Manziel. You like to be consistent.
Expert teams, coordinated care. At North Shore University Health System, excellence is always part of the game plan.
Watch Bears Game Night Live, brought to you by CDW, following the final word on Fox 32 every Sunday night during the regular season. Be sure to catch the special season preview edition this Sunday night. Bears open at home September the 7th against the Buffalo Bills, then go on the road to San Francisco to the New York Jets, and then play the Packers at home. Chris Williams with a chance to run it back. Finds an opening and a good burst through. Nice return by Chris Williams. One of the key things that the Bears are looking for out of this game, and an important decision will be who will be the kickoff return man. Chris Williams, 29 yards on that return. Bears on offense when we come back.
The Chicago Bears are presented by Chase, the official bank of the Bears since 1934. Chase, so you can.
Back in Cleveland, Santonio Holmes had a nice first half, talking things over with another veteran wide receiver, Brandon Marshall. David Fales with time outside for Chris Williams. That was knocked away. Leon McFadden in on the play. Williams trying to show that he can be a possible third wide receiver.
And he's quick. He can pick him up and put him down. And it's just it's a bunch play to the left, and he's running a quick out. And just need to keep the football low and outside. It would have been a very difficult catch. I think Williams would expect himself to haul that one in, but need a more accurate throw from David Fales.
There's the Lexus first down line. Drawn the running back, takes it outside, couple of good blocks. Runs hard, gets across the 35, pickup of 8 on the play. For the Bears, 5 possessions in the first half, with points on the board in 3 of those possessions. A couple of Robbie Gould field goals. Missed one, a long one, after Fales took a sack. Bears were pushed back 52 yards away for the field goal try that failed. Drawn the running back, 2 tight ends in. Now 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Fales, quick throw for Bellamy, knocked away. Leon McFadden, another good play for Cleveland.
Fales reads the strong safety blitz to that side, and it's a good quick decision. It's a slant route. Good location with the football. You'd like to think Bellamy can come up with that one and hit him right in the shoulder pads, and you got to make that play in the National Football League. It's sometimes there's small windows, but those plays are expected to be made. Probably the first drop ball by Josh Bellamy.
I thought McFadden might have gotten his hand in there without taking a penalty. Good kick by O'Donnell. Is Robert Nelson from the 11, shoved out of bounds after a 3-yard return. 52-yard punt, a good one by O'Donnell. Bears trailing the Browns 20-13. Connection to Chicago every night. Fox 32 News at 9. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Lou Canellis here in Cleveland. The Bears trailing 30-27, and there's a familiar face and name, Rex Grossman, who played 6 years with the Bears, 2003 to 2008. First-round draft pick, was the starting quarterback for the Bears when they played in the Super Bowl in the 2006 season. Went on to play with the Washington Redskins, and certainly knows Kyle Shanahan, who is the offensive coordinator now in Cleveland. And that pass is complete to Willie Snead. Snead across midfield, so a quick hitter and a gain of 37 yards.
Off the quick play action. Good showing of the football by Rex Grossman right there. Look how sturdy in the pocket he was. Very difficult for Franklin to cover that one as the receiver's going in there with a full head of steam. Accurate throw by Rex Grossman. And that's what play action does. It forces the linebackers to suck up in there. Franklin got caught with the high-low, and Rex Grossman's able to deliver an accurate football behind him.
Quick toss to Crowell. And Crowell picks up 5 on the play. Johnny Manziel with a nice performance. Passing was inconsistent. 6 for 17, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. But 4 carries, 55 yards running. That was impressive.
He's a dual threat, there's no doubt. They will potentially have a package for him to utilize his legs and movement skills, but needs to get his accuracy better. I thought he was rushing things, needs to work on his footwork, and that'll come in time. Just have to be patient.
That toss to Crowell. Got a block from Ray Agnew, the fullback. Gets it down to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play, and a first down for the Browns. There's the Lexus first down line at the 32. Bears have Cornelius Washington, number 94, and at right defensive end with David Bass on the other side, number 91. Tracy Robertson and Lee Pegues are the tackles. Crowell brought down as he gets across the 30, down in the 29-yard line. He gained 3 on the play. Cornelius Washington, another one of those players, Bears draft pick last year, 6th rounder, who has played on special teams, and that has been a contributing factor for him. But certainly he might get caught in the numbers game.
And he showed his measurables there. That's why the Bears love him. I mean, his measurables are off the charts. But that play was a Bob play again, that back-on-backer play. He sheds the left tackle and is able to make the block. And he was strong, fast defensive end.
Grossman got rid of it. And the pass caught by the fullback, Ray Agnew. No gain on the play. Well covered. Jared Allen will be so much a part of the Bears defense, and any success the Bears have defensively will be dependent on the pass rush of Jared Allen.
128.5 sacks since he entered the league. I mean, he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He is a true professional, and I think he raises everybody's level of play in terms of the intensity, how he plays, how he practices. He immediately makes other players raise to his level and his standard.
3rd and 7. Grossman with time, almost picked off by C.J. Wilson. Nice move. Wilson, who's had interceptions in each of the last 2 preseason games, almost had one there.
And Rex Grossman, to me, was staring down the receiver. Good break on the ball by C.J. Wilson. Make the play, you're looking 70 yards the other way for a touchdown.
You are right.
So got to squeeze it for C.J. Wilson, but good read on the quarterback, knowing that diagnosing a 3-step drop to break on the football.
Billy Cundiff on for a 47-yard field goal try. Now with the hold of Spencer Lanning, and that one is right down the middle. Cundiff with his 3rd field goal of the game. Browns have a 10-point lead. Bears defense came up with some good plays to stop the drive. Cundiff puts 3 on the board.
Bears preseason football is brought to you by Xfinity and sponsored by Lexus, Tempur-Pedic, and Rust-Oleum Industrial Brands.
Ford scoring drive, 7 plays, 52 yards, led by Rex Grossman. Kyle Shanahan, the man with a headset on there, then the offensive coordinator. There's Chris Williams, who had a good kickoff return last time, 29 yards. Cundiff kicks it off. Low line drive that is taken short by Josh Bellamy at the 10. Bellamy is brought down to short of the 30-yard line. 18-yard return to the 28. And David Fales, who's had a nice game, has played all the way and is expected to go all the way in this game, back on the field.
And it's a learning experience for him. Right now, you're playing from behind. It's how he can test his composure. Probably will throw the ball a little bit more here. It's going to be on him. See if he can lead his team to victory. Another big asset attribute that needs to be shown by David Fales.
Sonoris Perry is the running back. 3 wide receivers in. It's Perry. And he's met right short of the line of scrimmage. And he cut into the hole. Brought down, no gain on the play. There's the number 2 quarterback for the Bears, heading for the start of the regular season. But it was interesting to hear Jimmy Clausen this week say, take nothing for granted. There's cut downs coming. He's got to work hard every day, but he's had a good preseason for the Bears.
And I think what he's shown, too, is he's overcome a little bit of adversity. It wasn't the greatest situation for him down in Carolina. Gets 10 starts as a rookie. Things don't go so well. They draft Cam Newton. And for him to rebound and solidify himself in the National Football League talks about his drive, his adversity. He's facing it, and I think the Bears are very happy with the command and the leadership he's shown through the preseason.
Fails incomplete on that last pass intended for Armani Edwards. Edwards, Chris Williams, and Josh Bellamy, the wide receivers. They're on Mastrud, the tight end. On 3rd and 10. Flag on the play. The pass juggled and held on to by Mastrud, but way short of the first down. And the penalty will be against the Bears.
Had a good look for David Fales right there. Obviously, you saw the tight end.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Number 53. Penalties declined. Result of the play. 4th down.
That's the guard Ryan Groy called on the penalty. 3 and out for the Bears.
Well, hands to the face is another infraction the officials want to make note of here in the preseason, not only for defensive linemen, offensive linemen, both that and defensive penalties in terms of illegal contact and pass interference have been called early and often in all preseason games.
From what I've seen, Jim, the last 2 weeks, there's been fewer illegal contact penalties. Now, maybe the players are adjusting, maybe the coaches are emphasizing it to their players, but there's been fewer the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bears trailing by 10. The defense will come out.
Copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Back in Cleveland, where the Browns the Browns lead the Bears 23-13. Bears haven't been able to get much going here in the second half. Rex Grossman, the quarterback for Cleveland, their number 3 quarterback. Bears have brought Brandon Dunn, number 79, back in at defensive tackle. Grossman gets time and throws, completes it. Up across the 40-yard line to Charles Johnson, the second-year man out of Grand Valley State. Pickup of 18 on the play.
Well, as you mentioned, Sam, I think Rex Grossman felt a little vilified in Chicago, obviously with the loss of Super Bowl 41 to the Colts, and he did have more interceptions than he had touchdowns as a Bear, but I think you see where he's at in his experience-wise. Right there, that was a slant route. He's patient, waits for it to go into the second window, and delivers an accurate pass.
Isaiah Crowell finds a big hole, bounced off of Trice, the safety, and turned it into a big gain out of bounds at the Bears' 35-yard line, a run of 23.
Lowers his shoulder, and you got to wrap up. These running backs are big, strong, powerful. You see right there, it's one-on-one. Those are the plays you got to make. Can't lower your head. See your target, eyes through the thighs. It needs to be for Trice, and he doesn't make the tackle. You're the safety. Last line of defense, he's not going to be happy with that one.
Isaiah Crowell, 5'11", 225, out of Alabama State. A long shot to make the team. Play fake by Grossman. With time, he finds Willie Snead wide open. M.D. Jennings and Jerry Franklin in on the tackle.
It's the same play action pass from earlier. And again, play action, excellent throw. You see D.D. Lattimore almost able to bat that ball down, but it's the same pass on the over route that Rex Grossman threw earlier. This time tighter coverage, still able to fit it in there.
Browns eating up big chunks. 3 consecutive plays, 19, 23, and 24 yards. Down to the Bears' 11-yard line. Here's Crowell. He's brought down. Good tackle this time by Marcus Trice. Got him by the ankles. Tripped him up.
It is nice job coming off the edge. Recognizes it's a toss play early by Trice, and he was not going to have that happen again in terms of a missed tackle. That time ensures it. Goes low on Crowell.
Marcus Trice, undrafted rookie out of North Texas. The Bears protecting their starters and their top backups coming into this game. And wanting to make sure that they are healthy for the opening of the season. That pass dropped by Marlon Moore. Christian Jones was covering on the play. Bring up a 3rd and 10. Christian Jones is an interesting man.
Shallow cross route, and he's right there, and that's a receiver now. He shows the speed a little bit, catching up to at least disrupt the receiver hauling it in for a big play. But I like this undrafted player. I think he's got high upside, high ceiling. I called him Body Beautiful last game, and he is. He's got all the tools to be a great player in the NFL. Just needs to learn the game at this level.
Mel Tucker calls him the Big Cheese. He walks around, big man with a big smile on his face.
If I had a body like that, I'd be smiling all the time too, because this guy, he is a specimen now in how he's built.
Rex Grossman calls a timeout for the Browns. We are late 3rd quarter. And for a man like Christian Jones, this is a big game for him as the Bears try to decide, can he fit in the 53-man roster? Is there a spot for him on special teams? He's certainly big enough, athletic enough to do it.
I think he's one of those guys that you take a chance on him because he has high upside, and you need guys like that on your roster.
Important date, Saturday. 4 p.m. I believe is the time. Cut down to 53 players on the roster. Sunday, you can set a practice squad of 10 players this year, up from 8 players. And then the opening game of the season is next Thursday with Green Bay at Seattle. And then a week from Sunday, everybody gets going. Good rush on the outside by Cornelius Washington. Good pressure on Grossman by Washington.
There he is again. He beats Salumu, the left tackle right there for the Cleveland Browns. Twice here, beats with speed right here. When you look at him right here, beats the tackle around the corner. And this is all, these are the measurables. This is what Mel Tucker's been talking about. A little bull rush, converts it. Bam. Rex Grossman, he's not ready for a defensive end to be on him that quickly in terms of a short, quick pass set in terms of the quick pass game.
Billy Cundiff from 29 yards makes another one. That's 4 field goals for Billy Cundiff. And the Browns, who once trailed 13-7 in this game, have put up the last 19 points scored in the game and lead 26-13 late here in the 3rd quarter. Check out the Bears starting the season. And they will have a lot of road games. 4 of the first 6 open up at home against Buffalo, then at San Francisco and the New York Jets, home against the Packers, at Carolina and Atlanta. home against the Dolphins, at New England. First half of the season, 5 road games. Second half of the season opens up after a bye week at Green Bay, but then 5 of the last 7 games at home.
Yeah, early I think they face mobile quarterbacks, what they face tonight with Johnny Manziel, and also good defenses. And the Bears offense, that's where they pride themselves on with how many points they scored a year ago. And I mentioned the mobile quarterbacks, dual threat guys. So this defense is going to be tested early for Chicago to see where they're at, to see if they've made the improvement from a year ago.
And you saw those start times, a lot of prime-time appearances for the Bears this season. Here's Chris Williams from 7 yards deep. On the return, goes to the outside. Nice stiff arm. He got across the 20, up to the 22-yard line. A return of 29 yards for Chris Williams. David Fales back on. Hasn't looked as sharp thus far in the second half. Jim, anything you're noticing?
I just think early, and again, it's tough on young quarterbacks, and Fales, he's not going to worry about it. You can't stress out about it because there's always going to be different guys that you're throwing to. Early, he had Santonio Holmes and those players. Now he's throwing to different receivers here in the second half with like Chris Williams getting his opportunities. So that's tough on a young quarterback, but you can't make excuses. You just got to know that's what's going to happen in this type of game.
Loss of a yard on that run by Sean Drawn. Get into the good times. Good Day Chicago, weekday mornings on Fox 32 Chicago.
Because a lot of times you're just uncertain. Here again, he hasn't had a lot of reps through training camp, but now you're thrown into the fire. You got all different guys who really you haven't worked with in a team setting, but yet you're competing in a game that's on tape and everything's evaluated. So it's tough and you're uncertain, but you got to play with confidence and just trust what you see.
The toss to Drawn. Picks up the block outside, gets across the 25 up to the close to the 27-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play. As time winds down here in the third quarter. Second half, David Fales just 1 for 4 passing. Where in the first half, it was 11 for 17 for 129 yards. We've come to the end of the third quarter of this final preseason game. Smiles along the sidelines as it winds down. Bears hope they'll have a lot of difference makers come regular season time. They feel they've got a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball. Start of the fourth quarter, an early movement before the snap. False start against the Bears.
Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Robert Turner, the guard, called for it.
And here, this is where David Fales take charge. I know there's only 15 minutes left in the game, and it's preseason, but these guys, every single play is being evaluated from an offsides to how you as a quarterback get these guys up there and start responding to where you start getting on schedule.
3 wide receivers in. Fales on 3rd and 11. Finds Chris Williams. That's a good play. And a first down. That's the Bears' first down since midway through the second quarter.
Good read on the crossing route. And again, this is what you have to do to jumpstart the offense. Get a first down. Nicely done by David Fales. Accurate throw to Chris Williams.
There's the Lexus first down line at the 36. The Bears 1st and 10. With 3 wide receivers and Jerron Master, the tight end. And delay to Drawn, and he's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Right now, the running back situation. Matt Forte is clearly the number 1. Kadeem Carey, the 4th-round draft pick that they like very much out of Arizona. Looks like he's taken over as the number 2 running back.
Well, Drone right now, they like his versatility, but like right there, a play, something as simple as a draw play, it's tough to break outside when you have outside force. Normally a draw, you want to keep in between the tackle, bad read to go outside.
Fails, pass intercepted. Robert Nelson with the pick. Stepped right in front of the intended receiver. Chris Williams, the man that Fales was looking for.
It's the same exact play that they completed for a big play a few moments ago. It's just a simple over route. Looks like he's open right there, but if you're late with the football, that's what happens in the National Football League. It's a good learning experience that he can put in the memory banks when you look at David Fales. If you don't make a good, quick decision and you're late over the middle, it's either going to be bad when you're thrown into the backside corner or allow the undercut safety to come in and intercept that football.
Browns take over at the Bears' 37-yard line. Rex Grossman still in at quarterback. Isaiah Crowell forced outside. Nice play by Christian Jones. He was all over that play. Forced it outside and ran it down. A loss of a yard on the play. Jay Cutler and David Fales talk things over after that play.
And he's asking me, well, what'd you see on that particular play? And David's trying to explain it, and Jay's going to look at it again and tell him, hey, this is normally what happens. You're going to find out. You either throw the football when the window's there or you move on to your second read because things happen that quickly. Good learning experience for David Fales.
And there are those video tablets. Delay to Crowell. He's brought down after a gain of 4 on the play. D.D. Lattimore, the middle linebacker. See those tablets new this year being used along the sideline. And a great tool, great learning tool.
And it allows you, it can give you still shots. You can scroll through the actual play where you see it happen. You know, just like a replay, so much more versatile than just the still shots that they used to print out. So it allows players to get an accurate picture from all different angles rather than just an end zone copy or a sideline all 22 copy that you normally were just seeing in the past.
On 3rd and 7, Grossman's pass. Missed connection with Marlon Moore. Some missed timing on the play. Brings up a 4th down.
And you see him looking at pre-snap read there, post-snap read. Well, I thought and that's normally what happens. I didn't see him there. And normally now you can scroll through it and see it happen in action. And he's scrolling through those, really getting a picture of, you know, an insta frame of how it unfolded and how that interception happened. And you're gaining information as a quarterback. So the next time you say, if I see that look again, I'm going to move on in my read.
Spencer Lanning is on to punt for the Browns, but the Bears are all up toward the line of scrimmage. No one is in deep safety right now. I don't know if they're expecting a fake. Looks like a.
I think Joe DeCamillis called a timeout for that very reason.
A delay of game penalty called against the Browns.
Now he's got
Sets him back. Yeah, Chris Williams is coming on, going back deep. Williams standing at around the 10-yard line. If you joined us late, Santonio Holmes with a good punt return in the first half. Also had a reception for a touchdown. Williams lets it bounce at the 10. And the Browns able to keep it in the field of play. They downed it inside the 1-yard line. Well, that's a great job by the Browns. Bears are forced deep. For our football lessons brought to you by the University of Phoenix, here's Professor Miller.
Well, it's just a play action pass, and obviously you got the over route here, and this is where Fales is laid on the throw as corner undercuts it. Good fake, shows the ball, but again, it's man-to-man coverage. It's a man-zone concept, but he's late over the middle on that play. So just got to make an earlier decision, deliver the ball sooner in that type of coverage run by the Cleveland Browns.
Let's go through the air with United. A look at the Bears quarterback statistics. David Fales has gone all the way, 13 for 23, 146, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, just 3 of his last 9 after starting the game 10 for 14. Bears, it was ruled a touchback, originally ruled down at the 1. The officials got together, they ruled the touchback. Bears start from the 20, gain of 4 on the play. We go to the sideline. Lou has got Peanut Tillman with him. Lou.
Thanks very much, Sam. Your buddy Lance Briggs told me last week that he hasn't played on a Bears defense with this much talent in his entire Bear career. You agree?
Yeah, I second that. I would, yeah. I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Tell me why this defense is going to be better than what we saw a year ago.
For one, we got the talent. You know, last year we had a ton of injuries, and I really think that was one of the reasons, probably the main reason why we were so terrible last year.
You missed 8 games. You were one of those guys that sat out with the torn tricep. 33 years old. How do you feel physically right now?
Good. I feel real good. I'm just glad I'm back from my 12th year.
You don't feel 33, do you?
No, I don't think your average 33-year-old's playing professional football right now. So no, I don't feel 33.
All right, I need to ask you, how difficult is it to play cornerback these days in the NFL when the refs won't let you even touch the jersey of the offensive player?
It's pretty damn difficult right now. You know, with my style of aggression and being aggressive, yeah, if I was coming out in the league right now, I'd probably play receiver, because they make it almost impossible for defensive players to make plays right now.
Enoch, good luck this year.
Thanks.
All right, Sam, back to you.
Another key man, another key leader for the Bears. Thanks, Lou. A sack by Jamal Westerman of David Fales on a 3rd and 6 play. Second sack of the game for the Browns. And the Bears are 3 and out as Patrick O'Donnell is in the punt. High kick. And Robert Nelson waits for a fair catch and takes it on the 44-yard line. 40-yard punt with no return. David Fales along the sideline. Training staff, medical staff.
Or Miller Lite Bears Gear. Get details by visiting your local retail store for specially marked 12-packs from August 15th through September 30th.
Browns on offense, their 4th quarterback. It's Connor Shaw, 22 years old, a rookie, undrafted rookie out of South Carolina. Isaiah Crowell on the carry, and David Bass with the tackle. So Hoyer, Manziel, and Rex Grossman, who will be the top 3. And the Browns want to take a look at the rookie, Connor Shaw. There's Johnny Manziel, number 2, Rex Grossman, number 3, talking things over along the sideline. Grossman's a good veteran to have on this team. Yeah, with a lot of experience. Hoyer, though he's the number 1, doesn't have a whole lot of experience, playing experience.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the team seems to rally about him. We've witnessed that last year when obviously their only victories came under Brian Hoyer when he was under the helm. And you could see the defense got a jolt when Hoyer was in there. But you just, in speculating here, the offense hasn't looked so good. You're going to lose your star receiver in Josh Gordon. And can you manufacture some offense when you don't have your marquee weapon on the field? So I think Rex Grossman brought in for his experience. He knows the system well, and I think that's what they're looking for.
There goes Crowell. This could be a touchdown. M.D. Jennings chasing him. He got to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. 48-yard run for Isaiah Crowell on a 3rd and 1.
And that's the last thing the Bears wanted to see in the preseason, was a team ripping off a big run. Again, last year, 32nd in the national play. It's just an inside zone run off of the pistol. You see the missed tackles. That's a reminder from last year, and those are bad nightmares Bears fans do not want to see out of this defense. Extends the ball across the pylon, enough to get it in there. Big run, and obviously gap responsibilities, and Mel Tucker's talked about it. It is somewhat different this year.
They will review this upstairs. Any scoring play gets reviewed. And this one being checked out. His knee goes down there. Was the ball across the goal line when the knee touched down? That angle tough to see. Referee John Parry will check it out. Referee John Parry with a decision on the review. And if Crowell didn't get in, he's about an inch away.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Didn't have enough. I don't think they had enough evidence to overturn it. Good run, 48 yards by Isaiah Crowell.
Has the knee down. All it has to do is cross the plane of the goal line right there. Looks about even in terms of whether the knee's down and the tip of the ball crosses the plane.
So the Browns, who trailed at one point 13-7, now lead 33-13. 9:25 to go as the preseason winds down. Overall, Jim, what's your assessment about the way preseason went for the Bears?
I think that, it's a lot of mix and matching. You're tinkering with the new parts that you have, and you're trying to find answers. And I think, you listen to Lance Briggs, you listen to Jared Allen, you listen to Peanut Tillman, who Lou Canellas talked to today on the sideline. They feel they're a much more athletic defense. You already brought up the point. They're going to see mobile quarterbacks early.
Yeah.
You better have athletic guys on defense, and they have upgraded, in my opinion, from the Bears from that standpoint. So I expect drastic improvement defensively from the Bears. Offensively, this offense could be prolific. We talked to Aaron Kromer, the offensive coordinator, about building out a 3 wide receiver package. I think Santonio Holmes showed some clues tonight. They got some answers from him. I think Josh Morgan has done it earlier. It's like last week in Seattle. So I think now they have a 3 wide receiver package. Can it be as prolific as Denver? Imagine Denver with Peyton Manning year 1 and then what they did last year in year 2 of Peyton Manning. It was the most record-setting offense in the National Football League. I think the Bears have that ability. I'm not saying they're going to lead the league in points, but they have the capability to be a very good football team and definitely playoff worthy in 2014.
Sonoris Perry with a nice return of 23 yards up to the 25-yard line. Sonoris Perry hasn't done anything to suggest that he can't make this team.
I agree.
He's done a lot of good things.
I think he's, again, you listen to the coaches behind the scenes and here they're getting, so many few opportunities in a preseason game. It's what they do in practice. How many opportunities he's been given in practice to show his ability. And Skippy Pete raves about what he's done through training camp, and he's made the most of those opportunities.
Fails with the handoff to Jordan Lynch, the former Northern Illinois quarterback. And you listen to him talk this week, he would be very, very happy if the Bears put him on the practice squad. He talked about being able to line up at quarterback, at running back, at wide receiver, anything. He's learning a whole new position and everything new about it. This is a former quarterback who's learned to block. Never had a block before. That's what you told me, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Again, talking about it?
Talking to Skippy Pete, the running backs coach for the Bears, and again, he's such a tough guy. You got the prerequisite is you better be tough in the National Football League. And he's taken a lot of hits in college at Division I Northern Illinois, and he's comfortable in that aspect of the game, handing off and carrying the football. But the first time he ever blocked, Skippy Pete asked him, "Did you ever block in Pop Warner? Did you ever block in junior high school?" He said never. He has never blocked, and he's learning all those aspects and techniques of what it takes to be a running back. So Skippy Pete thinks he's a reps guy. The more reps he'll get better. But I think you bring up a good point about practice squad. He could play quarterback. He could play running back. He's such a good athlete. He could line up at multiple positions when you look at Jordan Lynch.
No gain on that carry. Bears a first down. We are midway through the fourth quarter with the Browns holding the big lead. Brandon Marshall, we talked about key players, difference makers. There's a difference maker. One of the best receivers in the National Football League. Put him together with Alshon Jeffrey. And now you talk about Santonio Holmes, who showed that flash in the first half. It could be very important.
He does, to clear out defenses, take the top off the defense. And again, it's about personnel groupings. You know, you've got the three wideout set that I mentioned earlier in preseason. It's the #1 personnel grouping set utilized in the National Football League. Over 17,000 plays were called out of three wides personnel. Now the Bears feel they may have an answer for that, and we'll have to wait and see what they do with Marquise Wilson, because there's another guy you put into the mix. He was coming on strong this offseason. He could be placed on IR, designated to return is what could happen with Marquise, but that decision is going to come down to critical information from the medical staff of the Chicago Bears to allow Phil Emery to make that decision.
At the 45, Jordan Lynch again, 6 consecutive carries for him. This time he's brought down short of the line of scrimmage. The Bears giving Jordan Lynch a chance to show what he can do on successive carries. And now the punting unit coming out. Joe DeCamillis, I don't think he's got the finished product yet as far as his special teams are concerned. There might be some players that the Bears might pick up off the waiver wires who could wind up on this team.
Well, you know, nobody likes to build their football team with other people's rosters, but the world champion Seahawks did it. And so, you know, if you have an opportunity to upgrade your football team, you do it. And there may be some guys out there that could shore up the Bears' special teams.
Patrick O'Donnell angling that kick out of bounds, no return. We're winding down the preseason.
Bears preseason football is brought to you by CDW and sponsored by Geico, Chase, and Miller Lite.
Back in Cleveland, the final preseason game winding down. Bears defense on the field. The veterans with the baseball caps on didn't have to wear the shoulder pads tonight. Santonio Holmes played in the first half. Had a touchdown catch. Nice catch and run for a touchdown. And a good punt return. Isaiah Crowell. Brought down by D.D. Lattimore, the middle linebacker. As you look at the NFC North, you look at Green Bay, the defending division champs, Minnesota, Detroit, what do you see?
I think all eyes early are in that game in the Great Northwest, the kickoff matchup between Seattle and Green Bay. If Green Bay, who's had great success out there, and remember it was a Hail Mary pass that really got negated, and they had the ability to go in there and beat Seattle. So, one, you do not want Seattle to have home field advantage, and the NFC Conference is much more tightly contested. The next team I turn my eyes to are the New Orleans Saints. What does the NFC North play this year? The NFC South. They'll have an opportunity to crack at New Orleans. When you look at Green Bay and teams like the Chicago Bears, they can control their destiny. And I think that is going to be a much more highly contested conference when you look at the NFC. And the NFC North has the opportunity to dictate what could happen in terms of home field advantage. Because those are two tough places to play.
Yeah. In
New Orleans and out there in the Great Northwest in Seattle with the 12th man and CenturyLink Field, and they just have such an advantage playing in home field.
Connor Shaw with that last run, 14 yards. Got it out of the Johnny Manziel playbook.
Connor Shaw is an athletic quarterback from South Carolina. He's won 11 games every year under Steve Spurrier. Tough division there in the SEC, and everybody talks about, but this guy's a gamer, and he's a winner as a quarterback, and that's why the Cleveland Browns, and they probably researched quarterbacks more than any team in the National Football League with what they knew that they needed to address at the quarterback position.
Rex Grossman, he was coached by Steve Spurrier in Florida.
That's right.
Connor Shaw, coached by Spurrier in South Carolina. Shaw keeps it, trying to turn the corner. And down close to the first down, up to the 48-yard line.
Sneaky athletic. Believe it or not, he had the third fastest 40 time of all the quarterbacks. It was, believe it or not, Logan Thomas. Nobody knows about him for Virginia Tech. Johnny Manziel, he was third in terms of the 40 combine time when you look at Connor Shaw.
One position we didn't talk about was safety. That's a big position for the Bears this year. Big question marks. Chris Conte was hurt, got started late in preseason, but the coaches seem to like what they saw from Chris in practice, and even in the time he played last week in Seattle, they liked what they saw.
He's got 40 starts. He's played 3 years for the Chicago Bears. Confidence got tested a year ago, but a lot of it was due to the injuries up front in the defensive line and the linebackers. What's it about? Much like tonight, Santonio Holmes, for as few snaps as he played, made impactful plays. And here in that game last week against Seattle, Conte made impactful plays in that ball game. So I think the safeties will be fine for the Bears no matter what combination, whether it's Conte and if McCray gets in there and has the opportunity to play. And I do like Brock Vereen, who they drafted from Minnesota.
Ryan Mundy had a good preseason.
Mundy has not made mistakes.
No.
And if you don't make mistakes at the safety position between him and Conte to start the season, I think is how it will be. I think the Bears will be just fine.
It was interesting because you mentioned Brock Vereen, one of those players who did not play in the game. So one of those players that the coaches want to keep out, make sure they keep him healthy, because obviously he figures in their plans when the season starts.
Well, there's still so much uncertainty there. You want healthy bodies there. One for Conte, who's overcoming the concussion that you mentioned, to Brock Vereen. There's still some questions there and uncertainty.
2-minute warning here in the final preseason game. Bears are down 33-13. We wrap it up when we come back. Here's tonight's Miller Lite Player of the Game. It's Santonio Holmes. He played so well, they told him, take your equipment off. You don't have to play the second half.
Shut it down, because he definitely provided some answers tonight. Again, it's about impactful plays. One reception, what does it result in? Touchdown. Look at that right there, showing his speed. And then he gets one punt return. What does he do? 30-yard punt return. So 2 touches, very productive, impactful plays, and that's why he's got a smile on his face, because he's the player of the game, Sam.
And that's when the Browns had their top defensive players in the game. Shaw taking a knee as we wind it down. Wanted to send out some special thanks. Pat McGrath, our statistician throughout the preseason. Kimball Bergman, our spotter throughout the preseason. Our producer, Mark Wolf. Our director, Suzanne Smith. Thanks to all of them. Great preseason. We've really enjoyed it. Jim, good luck to the Bears and good luck to Michigan State Spartans. I know you like them to go to the Rose Bowl this year.
Hey, I'm hoping the new playoff system, can they be in the top 4, Sam? Big game tomorrow night against Jacksonville State. But yes, I'm excited about both teams, and I do think both teams have a great shot here in 2014.
We had a look at Jay Cutler, and I think Jay Cutler is ready to have a really big season and lead this team. You talked about how good this offense can be, and he's the driving force.
He is, and I don't think it's all on him. I think getting all those weapons around him, it's going to take pressure off Jay Cutler. Everybody's saying, hey, he's got to show that he's an elite quarterback. No, the Bears need Jay Cutler to do less. Just go through his reads, execute the offense, and it has an opportunity to be a prolific season offensively. And what did his teammates say? Brandon Marshall thinks he may have the capabilities to be an MVP type of season for Jay Cutler. He's looked fantastic here in preseason action.
They've got some great weapons at wide receiver, at tight end, and running back. That's it for the preseason. Bears wind up 2-2. And now a week from Sunday, the regular season starts at Soldier Field when the Bears take on the Buffalo Bills. It all starts for real. The Cleveland Browns will open up against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. And for the Bears, there are some high hopes. Brian Hoyer has high hopes to lead the Cleveland Browns this year. We had to look at old friend Rex Grossman. But the preseason is over, and now it all starts for real a week from Sunday for the Bears. Thanks for tuning in throughout the preseason. For Jim Miller and Lou Canellis, this is Sam Rosen. So long, everyone. Good luck to the Chicago Bears.